I've made over $1 million dropshipping online in the past few months, and here are all the secrets, and I'm just going to show you them completely for free. All since the start of this year in 2024, since January. And just for proof, here is the revenue figures from the first store since January 2024, and then also from the second store since January 2024 as well. So just, I'd say in the past 8 months, it is October right now, but the main products that made this revenue, I stopped them around a month or so ago, and I'm only just relaunching them. So this is around, give or take, 8 months, which is pretty cool. And if we just go on today on one of the stores, as you can see, we're still making some really good profit as we've just relaunched the product just a few days ago. So these numbers aren't just way in the past, we're still actually starting to get some consistently high sales figures as well. So in this video, basically, I'm just going to give away my blueprint so you can actually do exactly the same, and hopefully just copy and paste it into your business to hopefully get you some of the same results. And why am I sharing this all completely for free, you ask? Because surely there's a catch, right? Well, I believe that if I give you the free value, real world value that will actually improve your life, then maybe you'll actually trust me enough to actually subscribe to this YouTube channel, which you should do right now because there's nowhere else that's giving you this kind of free value. Subscribe to this channel. I win by growing my social presence and my YouTube channel, and hopefully we can eventually hit 100k subs. And then also, after learning all of the main beginner to intermediate level stuff, which I'm going to teach you in this video, you're going to go away, make a whole ton of money, hopefully make your first like 10k month or maybe 1k day. And when you've learned that, then you'll come back later, click on the link down below in the description, and then you'll learn my advanced strategies in my school community to print just as much money as I've showed you that I've made. So when you go to that next level after learning from this video, then I'll also benefit from you joining, and you'll also benefit by making a whole lot more money. So it's mutually beneficial for both of us. So now that we've cleared up that there's no catch, let's jump into the information. Because after all, building a personal brand is very powerful, and I'd love to hit 100k subs on this channel too. Seems fair? Okay. So if you like money and you hate fake gurus, because there's just plenty of them on YouTube, then this is the only channel you're going to get that real free source. So subscribe right now down below, or I'm never going to make a video like this again. And of course, the reason I showed you those stats and revenue figures at the start of the video is because any claim online does need proof to be backed up, and that's why I showed you my 2 main stores. One of them was my brand, and then the other one was my general dropshipping store, which you saw at the start of the video. Kind of similar revenue figures. I showed you that was from 2024 alone in the first 8 months or so, still making money. The reason I showed you each of these stores, which have made 500 to 600k revenue each, give or take, in a few months, is just to show you that I'm actually practicing what I'm preaching. I'm not just making some clickbait YouTube video for views, because to be honest, I don't really care about making money on YouTube because I'm making money from e-commerce, right? So all those fake gurus just trying to get clicks, I've shown you the proof. Hopefully you trust me. Now let's get into the video. And I also showed you the daily revenue that we're making close to 1k right now, because I don't want people in the comments complaining that the stores aren't making money anymore, because they clearly are making some great revenue figures. So if you want to do these kind of numbers, this video is going to be perfect. And of course, if you want even more further proof, you can check out my channel below. I'll try and put an image on screen right now. You can see I did actually receive an award from Shopify for 10,000 orders, which is directly from Shopify themselves, who have verified I've got, you know, that number of orders on my store. So you can see that I've got that award. That'll hopefully give me some more social proof. And I've also just got the second award for the other store I showed you. So that proves that I've got at least 20,000 plus orders, right? So now we've got all the proof out of the way. There's irrefutable proof that I've done what I've said I've done. Let me show you the real source of this video. So make sure to grab a notepad, maybe open Notepad on the computer, maybe open a notes-taking app, because this is probably going to be one of the most valuable videos you've watched on dropshipping this year and general e-commerce, or that you'll either ever watch for free, right? Unless you're joining a really private mentorship, you're not going to get anything like this. Boom. So what I've done here is I've created a Miro board. So I've basically laid out my whole strategy and information in a Miro board. And basically we're going to start with the store, the product, the sales page itself, upselling and cross-selling, what marketing channels to use, our ad testing structures and scaling structures, and then also the back end we're going to use. So this is going to be anywhere from beginner to intermediate, some kind of advanced information here. All the links down below will be in the description to support you actually doing all of this right. So any of the services, any of those kind of things. Let's get started. So we're going to try and do this quick and make it easy to understand. If you already have some kind of knowledge of Shopify, I'm going to make it much easier. First of all, of course, to make our Shopify store, we're going to obviously need a Shopify. So if you want to sign up for Shopify, you can use my Shopify link over here. This will take you to the Shopify free trial. So if you sign up for Shopify, you're not going to get any kind of deal. You're going to have to just pay like $20 or $30 a month straight away. If you use my link, what it will give you is it'll give you your first month for £1, and then you can earn earn up to $10,000 in credits, which you can then spend on your Shopify annual subscription. So you get a free trial, which is usually like 3 days. Then your first month only costs £1 or $1 if you're American. And then you earn 1% for every sale that you make as credits to use on your Shopify subscription. So if you make sales, Shopify basically pays for itself. So this is a really good offer. This is available for limited time right now. Take it or leave it. Of course, the affiliate benefits me, but if you don't use it, you can still go on Shopify and pay $20 or $30. But this helps you mutually beneficial, right? So if you want to get the offer, click on the link. So once you have a Shopify store, then what we're going to have to go ahead and do is we're going to have to actually look at branding, because if we want a store, we're going to have to brand it to make it actually look legit. You can have a general store with like a default template, but it probably won't look very trustworthy. So for the branding side of things, we can kind of throw ideas at the wall, or if you've got a really good name for a brand in your head, that also works. What I like to do, I like to use ChatGPT, right? So ChatGPT, any kind of like LLM or large language model, you can just ask it basic questions. I have like certain AI models that are built for marketing and e-commerce and for general like ideation, but you could ask like a really basic prompt to ChatGPT. So for an example, you could just say, I'm creating a tech products brand or a tech product store. Give me a list of brand names that I could use for this branded dropshipping store. And it'll churn out a big list. You can just keep telling it to give you more until eventually you get a name. So that's how you can get a branded store. Usually if you have like one-worded store or like a two-worded store that's like catchy and memorable and it's not too long, that's all that you really need. As long as it just looks legit and it doesn't sound scammy, that's all you'll need, especially if you're testing. I'd recommend, if you're starting with ecom, do a general dropshipping store or a niche store. So it's like one niche of products like tech. Just give it a generic name. So if you're doing like a one product store or testing one product at once, if that product doesn't work, then you can just test a new product without changing your brand and or your store name. So if I just called it like, for an example, Tesco in the UK, that's like a grocery store chain and they sell loads of different types of products. They sell laptops, phones, stuff like that. Tesco can sell any product because it's just a generic brand name. It's not like PC store, so they're not restricted, right? So give it a generic name like that. That works best. Then we're going to move on to the theme. So with themes, there's a few options here. You have paid themes and you have free themes. So I'm going to tell you which themes I've used, both paid and also free. Free themes, I like Dawn. A lot of people like, I think it's called, is it Refresh? I'm not sure. There's like a theme beginning with R, which is also quite good. I personally found that Dawn's the best. Dawn works really well. For example, if you're selling like jewelry, if you're selling fashion, if you're selling any kind of like homeware, Dawn is a really clean theme. It's free. It's fairly customizable. This worked well for me. I made like the first few $100,000 revenue on Dawn theme. I didn't have a paid theme, but when I wanted to move things up a little bit, I actually upgraded to Shrine. Now, I don't have any kind of affiliate links for Shrine. I'm not affiliated with them. There's no reason for me to promote them. They haven't reached out to work with me. I'm interested to work with them, but there's no incentive for me promoting this theme, right? The reason why I use this theme is it has a lot of built-in things in it. So usually with Shopify, you might pay for certain apps, right? They give you certain features. So you might pay for an app that lets you like add bundles or increase your conversion rate or add certain things to the theme of your website. With Shrine, most of that's built in. So you can see here where my mouse is. If I just turn on my mouse here, you can see now where my mouse is. This here is a bundle feature that's built into Shrine. So you don't need to actually get a bundles app. Then you also have like emoji benefits you can put here. That's built in. Of course, there's so many elements you get with Shrine. I'm not going to go over it because this isn't a video about Shrine, but basically it's a theme which is paid and it costs quite a bit. I think I paid like over $100 for one license. I use it on 2 stores. It increases your conversion rate because it's got like sticky add to cart, which you can see here at the bottom. Loads of stuff like that, just completely built into the theme. Really good theme. I'd recommend it, but you can definitely make your first like few $100K or $1 million with Dawn theme. You don't need a paid theme, but if you want to increase your conversion rate, save some money on monthly app subscriptions, Shrine has actually worked really well for me. So that's the options you have for themes for Shopify. In terms of branding, if you found that brand name and you want to then create a logo for your brand, you have a few options. So I obviously usually use Photoshop to image edit. I pay for a Photoshop license. It's like £9.99 a month. That gives me like the AI features and a Photoshop license, and I think maybe Lightroom as well. Photoshop's actually quite cheap and affordable now, but if you don't have the money, you can also use GIMP, which is completely free. This is like a Photoshop alternative. You can do all of your image editing on there. That's a really nice freeware software. I think it's also open source, but Canva's also really nice too. Canva has some templates. You can use Canva to actually actually make logos. There's a lot of logo templates, really nice. Also, if you go on Google, type in Shopify logo generator. Shopify do have their own logo maker. I actually use this at the start to create my branded logos. You can choose from like the style, professional, flat, modern, stuff like that. Type in the name of your brand and it'll generate like tons and tons of logos, and then you can just download them. This is also a really good option that I use too. And Canva's also great because they have templates for like ad creatives, which might come in useful later. So that's your options. So when you've created a basic logo, then we can move on to apps. Now, just a last note on that, you can also use ChatGPT to create a logo. So if you subscribe to ChatGPT Premium, you can basically type in a prompt like create me a logo for my store in the niche. So create me a logo for my tech store called Tech Shop 24/7 or something like that, and it will generate you a logo, and then you can just keep generating them on ChatGPT as long as they have a transparent background. And then you can also edit them a little bit in these softwares if you want to fine tune it. So you can also generate logos with ChatGPT as well. I sometimes do that. They don't look as good, but they are sometimes quite nice looking. So crucial apps that we're going to use for our store. So what apps are going to be useful? Well, we're not moving on to talking about fulfillment just yet, but to fulfill our product later, you're going to need a fulfillment service. I use a private supplier, but originally when I was testing and just getting started, I used CJ Dropshipping. They have a huge catalog. They have really good support. It's really easy to source products with them. The only problem is they kind of scalp you in terms of the pricing. So they give you like a higher cost of goods price than you get with like a private supplier, and they cost a little bit more than AliExpress. They just have much quicker shipping. You can use my link, deanalma.com/CJ Dropshipping. Yet again, another affiliate link. This basically just makes it easier for you to sign up. You can directly click on this link, make an account, and get a better deal and get straight into the catalog, right? This is the quickest way to actually get started. It is, yet again, an affiliate link. This is also really helpful if you want to use that. Another app I use, these other apps I don't have any kind of affiliate link for. I'm just literally just telling you what I use. True Profit's really nice. I pay like $200 a month for this. It costs a lot of money, but this allows me to track my profits and loss. So instead of using like a typical P&L sheet, profit loss sheet, where you have to manually type everything into Excel, the whole cells yourself, you know, do all those annoying calculations, I prefer just to automate it. True Profit costs quite a lot of money, but in terms of when you're making revenue, it ends up being quite a small expense, and it's also a business expense. But this is good because like it basically takes your revenue from your store, minuses the cost of goods price that you input into Shopify, how much the product costs, and then also you connect it to Facebook, for an example, or the advertising platform, and it'll calculate also the cost of your advertising. You can have like variable custom costs like shipping and stuff like that, and then eventually it'll give you the net profit. So it tells you the profit, it gives you the net profit margin. It's just really good to track and just see where you are and if you're making a loss or if you're profitable. So this is crucial. You need a profit tracker at least. I'd recommend not doing it manually. A lot of like the gurus and like even the high level guys, they like to track it manually in Excel. It just wastes time. Just pay a few $100s. It's a bit of an expense, but it saves you so much time. And nobody's smarter than a computer, right? A computer is way smarter than any of us. So the accuracy is going to be better than you doing it. There's going to be like less of a chance of mistakes, and it just saves you a bunch of time. Next up is Vitals. Vitals is hands down the best app that I use. Vitals has like 30 to 40 different mini apps in one app. You have like bundling, you have like a Facebook Pixels feature where you can connect Facebook Pixels easier. You have countdown timers, sticky add to carts. You just have like everything for conversion rate and user experience in there to build out a great Shopify store. Maybe in the future I'll make a tutorial on it, but definitely worth a mention. I recommend getting that. That's like $30 to $35 a month. Well worth it. You'll save so much money because you'd have to buy like 50 different apps otherwise. They do the same thing as Vitals. So you'll be saving a few $100s with that. Klaviyo, great for email marketing. I use a combination of Klaviyo and Shopify email. So I use Klaviyo to have an email opt-in form. So people type in the email, they get like a 10 or 20% discount in exchange for me acquiring them as a lead. And then I use Shopify email to send them campaign and marketing emails, right? So I use a combination of the two. Klaviyo, you can automate all your flows, abandoned cart recovery flows, new customer acquisition, warm them up, right? So it's just generally a good app. So use that link if you want to get a good supplier, CJ Dropshipping. Then we're moving on to payment processors. So what are the best payment processors for dropshipping? Well, this is what I found. So at the start, I used a combination of these two. So I use Shopify Payments, which is actually powered by Stripe, and I use PayPal. They both have the pros and cons. Shopify Payments I found is the best. It's trusted. A lot of people, they pay with credit card and debit card on my store. It's really great, and it supports like Google Pay, Apple Pay. They've just added Klarna support recently, and I don't think you have to wait for payouts either. So they'll just pay you like on the 3-day window as they normally would, even if you're accepting Klarna. Klarna is basically like buy now, pay later, so the customers can pay in like intervals. If you just use Klarna, you'll have to wait like 30 days to get a payout, right? But with Shopify payments, I'm pretty sure if you use Klarna through them, you still get like 3-day payouts, which is really good. So you get paid on like a 3-day payout rota, 3 days ahead of the day that you made the revenue. So if I make revenue on like Sunday, I'm going to get that paid in on like Wednesday or something. You'll get paid every day, but it's like 3 days from since you acquired that revenue, right? If that makes sense. So Shopify payments is great, really good. I've had some problems where like if you make a lot of money quickly, they will put like a big hold on you. Like recently, I had a first hold where they put 20% hold on all my funds, which just ruined my cash flow and I couldn't scale, which was annoying. Then I got that removed and I had to wait 3 months to get that money, which was like being held. And then the day before, this was like last week, the day before that I was due to get that, they put an indefinite hold on everything, so they didn't have to pay me out. Then I emailed them, I got that removed, and they paid me out like half of it and then put a 10% hold on all future funds for like 3 to 6 months. So payment processors will just screw you in general because they want to make it easier for themselves so they don't have to pay out as quick. It's something to do with cash flow for them as well, so they can prioritize like higher profile clients. And also, this is not an accusation, this is allegedly, because I'm not sure if this is true, but I'm pretty sure they probably do this just so they can get some interest on your money whilst they hold it in a bank or an investment. That's probably what they do, but that's unconfirmed, right? Shopify payments though, best payment processor, hands down. I recommend you sign up for that, or just use Stripe because it's basically the same thing, but Shopify is just the best I found. PayPal, I use this at the start. It's good for like the first 2k revenue, but then after you make like $2,000, they just start to put like 30-day holds on your money. So the only way to free up that money and make it pay out quicker in like 21 days or like just a little bit quicker is you have to add tracking codes individually to every single transaction. And if you're making like hundreds or thousands of orders a month, that's like impossible. There's apps that you can use to automate that, which is what I've done, but it still didn't really fix the issue. Also, PayPal always side with the customer. So if the customer don't read your terms of service or your policies and they want to just charge you back anyway or refund you, you'll lose most of your cases on PayPal, and PayPal will just literally steal your money. That's from my experience. I'm not making an accusation that they're stealing people's money, allegedly. I'm saying that for me, they took money from me. So they took like £3,000 to £4,000 and I didn't get it back. And then they also took like another £3,000 or £4,000 to refund people who shouldn't have actually had a refund. So I ended up losing a ton of money through PayPal. I'm just still really bitter about that. So I'm never going to use PayPal again. They also then shut down my account so they didn't have to pay me. So I generally hate PayPal, but some people have a good relationship with them and they can make it work. But I personally don't use it, but you could still use it. The only good thing that I found with PayPal as a beginner when I wasn't making much money is that it had instant payouts, so it gave me better cash flow. I didn't have to wait 3 days like with Shopify, but it's not worth the headache it gives you in my experience, but you can definitely use it. A lot of people like it. Next up is product. So what's the criteria for finding a winning product? So I've made a criteria list here. So we want the product to be either a few of these things or all of these things preferably, but at least 3 of them. We want it to be in high demand. We want it to have a unique value proposition. So how is it unique to the market? We want it to have good enough profit margins, ideally at least 20 to 30%. Profit margins on 10% still work. My stores have like been 10 to 15% sometimes and it's still been all right. But ideally we want 20 to 30% profit margins. We want it to have good scalability, which goes hand in hand with profit margins. If the profit margins are good, we're going to be able to scale it very high because we have those profit margins. Because as you scale, the profit margin goes smaller and it gets a little bit watered down. So the higher it is, the higher the margins are, the higher we can scale, right? The more broad we can go with it. We want it to ideally have low competition. So when you're doing product research, try and look for products in the market that have been running for like 7 to 30 days minimum. So nobody's outscaled you and there's not too many people all kind of battling for turf with that product. We want it to also be advertiser friendly. I've found certain niches like skincare or things that show too much skin, even if it's not like lewd or rude or breaking any rules. The Facebook AI or the TikTok ads platform AI will detect it and think it's like some kind of rude ad or rule breaking ad, and it'll just like ban you or suspend the ad. So go for advertising friendly things like toys or electronics or things that just won't get you banned, because waiting for an ad account to get unbanned, especially when your account's new and you haven't built like a trust score or any kind of credit with the platform, a ban's going to put you offline for days and it's just going to be really annoying. So just start with advertiser friendly niches. It's just so much easier, less headache. We want it to be in a proven market, so something with actual demand that's working in currently, and we want it to be logistics friendly. There's some so-called winning products out there like laser guns or water guns, which are just going to give you problems at customs because it looks like it's some kind of firearm. So when it gets scanned, it's going to be suspect, and then like the border force will have to open up the package. They'll have to make sure it's safe and it's not something like dangerous, and then that'll waste like days at the border at customs, and it'll just delay your customer getting the product. So just try and do something that's logistics friendly. It's not going to give you any hassles at the border or customs. Something that's lightweight, something that doesn't have too high of a shipping cost. Yet again, if you do want to learn advanced strategies after you learn from this video, I'm giving you all the source for free here. If you do want to learn more advanced strategies, I do teach them here in my school in Equity Hub. You can click the link down below. It'll be on screen right now. This is where I post all my advanced strategies and more advanced Facebook testing and scaling strategies, things which I don't post on YouTube because I actually use them right now that nobody really knows about, right? All of the methods in this video that I'm teaching you for free, they all work as well. I'm still using all these as well. But anything that I discover myself, which I'm kind of weary to share for a few months, I'll post in here. So once you've learned from this video, do definitely check this out to go to the next level, right? So now we're moving down to research methods. So how can we actually do product research? So I have videos on like all these things. So if you want to go on my channel, you can just go on individual videos for anything I cover in this strategy. The first method is going on Facebook ad library. So from here, we can select like a country, we can select a category, and then we can type in a keyword. So you want to type in like pets, dog toy, 50% off, things like that to look for ads. That works really well. And then go on like a keyword search, hunt, and just find ads. And then you can find like winning ads. This is what it looks like when you actually search for a search term. It comes up with loads of ads, and then you can basically see what their ads look like. You can see when they've been launched. You can actually set filters. In the filter section, you need to click on active ads because they're ads which are still running. And you want to try and find products that have been running for at least 7 days, because most people, they won't waste money running ads if they're not profitable for a week, right? Because usually you can tell if a product's profitable within 3 to 7 days minimum. So you want to see things that have been running for at least 7 days. That's usually what I found to be best on Facebook ad library. And you can do this on the filters button and select active ads, and then just look at when they've actually been running since on the date, right? You can see this started running on August 26th. So that's how you use Facebook ad library. Filter by active ads. Here's some search term examples. Sale ends soon, 50% off, buy one get one free, or free shipping. And then obviously the more ads they have running, the better. It'll usually show you like underneath the ad on the information. Maybe it says like 7 ads use this ad set, or 7 ad sets use this ad, something like that. The more ads in that number, the better. That means they've duplicated the ads. And if it's been running for at least 7 to 14 days, it's likely profitable. Unless it's just like some Chinese store or some idiot who doesn't know what he's doing, that's probably going to be a profitable ad. Okay. Next up are paid methods. So these are some ad tools which I like to use. So first of all, first one I use is Miner. I've got videos on how to use Miner for product research. You can go on my channel to find those. Miner is a really nice tool. You can have a look at Facebook, Pinterest, and TikTok. You can have a look at ads, stores which are running. You can see influencers for your brand, and you can see just general trending winners. You can use my link here, deanalma.com/miner, to sign up. This gives you some free credits, I believe, and you can just use the tool for free on a trial for a while. So this is really useful if you want to use Miner. That's one of the main tools I use. Another one which I use, which I don't have any kind of offer or deal for you, but it's still a great tool. No affiliation. This is Winning Hunter. Winning Hunter is a really good tool. I recommend this mainly for Facebook. They have added a TikTok feature, but I find that this is like one of the better ones for Facebook. You'll see some tools are good for certain platforms. Winning Hunter is really cool. They have a feature where you can have a look at like what's being scaled. You can have a look at certain type of ads like fashion ads, branded ads, dropship ads, what's working in Europe and the big 5 countries or the USA. Really good tool. I didn't feature it on this board, but I also use PP ads. That's also a really good tool as well. Next up, we're going to move on to making our sale page. So what makes a great sale page and how we're going to improve the conversion rate on our sales page, right? So I've created a little diagram. I've used an example of a very popular winning product called the High Peak mini projector, or it's just a mini projector, but the brand's called High Peak. This is an example of good one product store or a general store, generic brand name, winning product. So on your images, you want to have a branded logo that makes it appear more like it's your product, because this is just an AliExpress product, but this makes it look like they've created the product. Social proof is really important. We can do this by adding reviews. So you need a review app. You can do that through Vitals, or you can use an app like Luke's Reviews. That works really well. Urgency is also good. So we can create urgency by showing like that it's low stock, or there's not many units left in stock, so they need to buy it now. It says order now to guarantee your item being in stock. Also guarantees, so 24/7 customer support, 30-day returns. It reduces friction because we're giving them like a guarantee or like a get out clause. If they don't like the product, they can return it, and also ships within 1 day. This is because they're they're probably holding inventory now that they've had a lot of success with this. We can't ship in one day if we're drop shipping, but we could give them like a really quick shipping time. Trusted payment processes is also important too. You're going to be able to do this if you just choose PayPal or Shopify payments that I've already covered. You could also choose things like Klarna or Afterpay to give them a payment plan. That's also going to mean that people who don't have much money are going to be able to also buy your product as well, although the payouts will be a lot slower, so you're going to have to weigh out the pros and cons for that. It's not really good if you're starting out, but if you're using a trusted payment processor, that adds more trust to your store, because if they're paying on credit card, they're going to want to pay through a platform which is trusted, so they don't feel like they're getting scammed, right? Also, support's also good if you offer them help, like a little support chat in the bottom corner. That's also really good because it gives them like the peace in the mind that if something happens or they feel like they're getting scammed, they have someone to talk to or get support from quickly instead of like waiting for an email. That also reduces friction. Here's another example of another store adding bulk discounts and bundles. You can see they've added bundle here. This is also a subscription model, so you can buy a one-time purchase or you can save 10% off and get free shipping if you get a subscription to this gummy supplement every 30 days. So if you're doing something like a supplement or a regular product or a perishable product that gets consumed, like a consumable, like a supplement, you could also do like a subscription model. So bundles and bulk discounts, if you buy more, you save more. That works really well. And also this subscription model is also cool as well. Another one is for the product page. You want to include the benefits. So you're telling them why the product's good, why they should buy it, how it's benefiting their life. This has a benefit section, loads of benefits here. With something like a supplement, it's really easy to do because they can say, oh, it has vitamin A in it, which is great for this. It has vitamin C, which is great for this. So that's really easy to do. And also a lot of people, they kind of just have very grandiose promises with supplements and stuff. Trust badges are also good. So verified by like a trusted entity. I don't know what this is, but maybe it's a trusted like health entity. Seal of approval, trust badges. Certifications, are they sourced from high quality or natural ingredients? And can they be found in a well-balanced diet? Sticky add to cart. So you can do this in Vitals or you can add this through the Shrine theme we talked about earlier. This basically means that if you scroll down the product page, the add to cart button is going to stay on the screen, because some people might scroll down and if it's a long product page, they might just get bored and click off because they don't want to scroll all the way back up to click purchase or add to cart. Sticky add to cart just puts it at the bottom of the page exponentially, permanently when they scroll, so you can just quickly add to cart and purchase. That's also good. Another one is frequently asked questions, aka FAQ. So this reduces buyer friction. If you think of the most popular or common questions about your product and then just answer them straight away in an FAQ, people can find the answer to a question they're already thinking about, and if they've already got an answer to it, it might mean that they'll just buy it on the spot. You can find common questions for things like about your product. If you go on the original AliExpress page and look in the reviews, you can base this on people's reviews. You can also go on like videos or social media about that product that people have already made and look for questions in the comments. There's loads of ways you can find people's questions. You can also add these over time from your own customers if the product works, but this is also really good as well. Another one is another guarantee, risk-free guarantee. Try before you buy. This reduces buyer friction. If you're not satisfied for any reason, you can return it for a 100% refund in 30 days. There's no risk for someone buying off your store. This sometimes does attract scammers and people who just want something for nothing, but that's usually like 1% of people, and most people are not going to take you up on this anyway because they're too lazy. And also there's ways to get around this. If you do it like a 14 or 15 day guarantee and it takes like 12 days to actually ship it, then technically they're not going to have much time to obviously do that, but I wouldn't recommend doing that anyway. Next up is upselling and cross-selling. So how are we going to improve the average order value from our store? So a good way to do this is adding upsells or cross-sells. Instead of explaining it, I'm just going to show you diagrams. It's going to make it quite obvious. So you can see here, this is a related product. This is what's called a post-purchase upsell. So they've already bought the product, so we're not displaying them like another offer before they bought it. We're going to close the sale first. Once they've bought an item, which you can see they've bought 3 items here, then we're going to recommend them 2 more items. So if you choose a related product which is related to what they've already bought and then show them that, that's more likely that they'll buy it because it's something they're already interested in, right? So this is a post-purchase upsell. We're offering them to buy something else before or after they've bought something already to increase the amount of revenue we're going to get per order, which is the average order value. And you can also do this by like pop-ups. This is another example of it. We're just asking them to add these t-shirts to a cart after they've already bought something. This is a shopping cart upsell. As you can see, they've not actually checked out already with a basket. So before they check out, we're going to offer them to actually buy some more stuff. I don't do shopping cart upsells. The reason being is because I think it just adds too much friction before someone buys something. I only do post-purchase upsells. So once I've closed the deal and they've already bought a product from me, then I'll ask them to actually buy something else. Okay? Because I want to make sure I don't deter them from making the initial purchase. But these are things you can do. Here's another example of a product page, cross-sell or upsell. So we're advertising a shaving starter kit, but we're also offering them some more cartridges, which they can also buy, or a restock box, so they can buy that with it. So you can like add in like different accessories that complement the product, or refillable like razors in this case, or like creams and stuff. That also works great. So upsells and cross-sells work really good. So next up is advertising. So we've created our store, we've branded it, we've made a logo, we've found our products, or we're testing products. How are we going to market these products? So the main two big platforms are Meta and TikTok. Meta is Facebook ads. Meta's just hands down the best. It's just got the best systems for finding customers. It's the most scalable. It's the most stable. TikTok ads is great to start out with. I got my first success this year in TikTok ads in January, and then I moved over to Meta. So ad creatives. To make ad creatives, I will make videos on these more advanced, but the general gist of making ad creatives, you want to find UGC content. That basically means user generated content. You want to find it on TikTok or YouTube. TikTok's a better source to find it. You want to type in the name of your product. You can find it on AliExpress. For example, the crystal hair remover, that was a really popular winning product by Bleem. And you can type that in on TikTok. It'll come up with loads of people making UGC content, reviewing the product, giving their opinion on the product. All we have to do is download it and just upload it as an ad, or chop it together and make our own ads from that footage. You can also pay influencers or TikTokers to make your videos as well. But for the most part, if your product's already been sold, there's going to be a whole library of content that we can just farm for free and then edit ourselves. That works really well. And then we want to use a website called snaptik.com to download that video without the TikTok watermark. The reason we want to do this is we want to make it look more legit. And also, if we upload a TikTok video with a watermark to TikTok ads, it's not going to get as much reach. And if we upload that to Facebook ads, Facebook's not going to like that you're advertising TikTok. The AI is going to pick it up and then your ads are going to flop. So download it without the watermark, use snaptik.com. For actually making an ad and scripting the concept, we can use ChatGPT. That works really well. That can give us like the hooks and a general script for the ad itself, the ad creative. You want to study successful ads, okay? Formulate a prompt for ChatGPT based on winning ad formulas or structures. I actually have a video which I made on how to make a successful ad. I made a video on like what's my formula to make a good ad creative, like from the hook to the offer to the call to action. I recommend watching that. That's like my TikTok ad strategy. I think it was in that video, but there's a lot of videos online. Also, you can use 11 Labs. That's an AI website for realistic voiceovers. These aren't really great for YouTube videos, to be honest, but if you're just making like ads to sell products on Facebook, they work really well. And we can basically type in our script here and we can get like an AI to read it out instead of paying someone to do a voiceover. You want to find a realistic voice though, because some of them sound kind of bad, but this is a good website. And then just generate the voiceover and edit it over some clips. If you're looking for an editing software, I personally use Filmora, but a free one is CapCut. This is completely free. It basically looks the same as Filmora and has the exact same features. I don't know if it's owned by the same people, but there's also a paid plan too, which is obviously better. So that's how to make ad creatives the most economically viable way, the most basic way of explaining it. And once we have our ad creatives, we're going to go ahead and try and test it. So I've made 2 videos on my ad strategies. So if you click on the Miro board in the link below, then you can obviously open this document and then click on these links. So I made a video, my profitable Facebook ads scaling strategy and my bulletproof Facebook ads testing strategy. These were made this year in 2024. They may have even been made in 2023, but they're still viable. They still work really well. I've updated my strategies a little bit now, which I've shared in my school if you want to join that, but these still work and I still use them. And also, if you want my TikTok ad strategy, the link to the video I made on that, which is also free, is in this document as well. So I showed how I made this amount of revenue in 2 weeks dropshipping and what my actual testing and scaling strategies were. So you can get all my free strategies on YouTube. And also, if you want to see my 2024 Q4 and 2025 testing and scaling strategies, which I'm using right now on Facebook, you can also join the school community as well. So all the free methods still work, but then when you make some more money and you start killing it, you can go ahead to the next level and learn from my other strategies in there. Let's now talk about the back end. So if we're scaling, we're going to want to have a good back end and we're going to have to make sure our systems are in place. Otherwise, we're going to have problems, okay? So first of all, suppliers, beginner options, you can just use AliExpress. YouTubers, I'm going to tell you the raw truth. A lot of YouTubers say, don't use AliExpress, use this service. For the most part, that's because they're getting sponsored by them. I sometimes say that for CJ because CJ is genuinely good. Even though I have an affiliate link for it, it's like 1% commission, so I make like nothing off it. So it's not really worth me promoting it for monetary monetary reasons. But CJ is decent enough for a beginner, but honestly, you can just use AliExpress. That works too. And you can use an app like DSers, which is DSERS. DSers, you can use that, connect it to AliExpress and just fulfill via that method. I've got a video on my channel how to do that if you want to find it. Those are good beginner options which are friendly. When you start making good sales, you do want a private supplier. You can find that in people's Discords. I found mine in someone else's Discord, some ecom Discord, and he works really well. So you want to start with something like this and then go to a private supplier eventually to actually scale with and get better cost of goods to make a higher profit margin. Because if you get cheaper products, you're going to make more profit. As for building a team, I am obviously, compared to other people in e-commerce, even though the revenue figures seem quite big, I've not actually scaled a big team yet, but I'm just going to tell you what I've done personally. So I've hired people from online jobs before, onlinejobs.ph, that works quite well. This is where you can hire cost-effective personnel, usually from the Philippines, which is why it's .ph. Some people think, is this like ethical? Well, some of the people in the Philippines charge a lot of money. Some of them charge like $8 to $15, like Western figures, right? $15. But a lot of them you can pay them like $2 to $4, and a lot of them make like $1 or $2 in that country. So you paying them that is actually giving them a good living in that country. And then if they're a killer and they're really good at what they do, you can also pay them more and they can have a better life, right? So just because they're from a more economic place or a cheaper country, it doesn't mean that you can't pay them more. So this is a really good place. And also because there's less opportunity, you'll find that a lot of these guys are really good at what they do, and a lot of them are actually better than like Americans or Western people. So if you hire from here, you'll usually get better work or better work ethic for a cheaper price. And then obviously as you become richer, hopefully you'll pay them more money. It's more cost effective at the start, right? You can also go up to Upwork and Fiverr. These are great websites for freelancers, but typically you'll be paying like Western rates on here, so they're not as good. I actually got my virtual assistant from my supplier. He actually connected me to their agency from the Philippines, and I got like the hookup from there. So I hired someone from the Philippines through my supplier who gave me even cheaper rates because my supplier is from China and they have like a really good contractor. But onlinejobs.ph is really good as well. So my team structure right now is really basic. It's really low level, to be honest, but it's obviously higher level than just doing everything myself. This is my team structure right now. So this is me, the owner. I obviously do all the main stuff still. So I'm still doing the product research, still doing like the store building, the testing, conversion rate. I'm still doing all the media buying myself, all the Facebook ads and marketing, but I do outsource some work. So we have the supplier here next to me, like on the same level as the supplier, because like I need him to obviously source all the products. So we have the supplier here. He finds any products that I test and sources them, ships them out. Below me, the people who obviously I've hired, I have a support manager. So this is the head VA. So that's just like the head virtual assistant. I only have one support person right now, but she just does like all the customer support and she like works in a group. The way that I set it up is I've got a WhatsApp group. I talk to my supplier directly in like a private chat about product. Then I've got like a group where I talk to the supplier and the support. So she can also ask questions directly to my supplier because he's quite hands-on. So that saves me a lot of time too. She can ask him like where products are with tracking, where lost packages are, and ask for refunds, and then I can see everything with their exchange. And also in that group I have a chargebacks manager, which I'm having on a trial right now, and I'm paying him like the same rate, and he just responds to all my chargebacks and like issues responses to the bank for me. But right now I'm getting quite like a low win rate with that, so I'm thinking about either training him more or like replacing him with like a software. That kind of meme like you hear Luke Belmar where he's like, you will be replaced by AI. I'm probably going to replace him with like a software service, or like maybe train him a bit better, because that's just a trial right now and it's not working that great. I used to hate filing chargebacks, so that just saves me time and stress anyway. So yeah, this is my basic team structure. Obviously if you go in like a mentorship with someone who's doing like millions a month, then they'll probably have a way more complex structure than this. But this just works for me because I like to work, I like work, and I enjoy dropshipping. But this just saves me time with things like support and chargebacks, which I just cannot be bothered to do. Because I used to do support requests. It used to take me like 1 to 2 hours a day to respond to all the support messages because I'd only do them once per day. And then chargebacks used to take me like an hour or two as well. And I'd just put them off and then it'd just be annoying. So that's the whole strategy. That's my whole e-com strategy. That's how I've made all this money. This is literally everything I know. And hopefully you can take all this knowledge and go ahead and just make a few $100,000 or maybe a few $1 million in revenue and hopefully change your life. Like I say, the reason I've given you all this information is just because it took me months to learn this. So having it in one space for you to just learn it straight away is going to make your life so much easier. And also what you can give me back in exchange for all this free value is just subscribe to the channel and like the video, because if this channel gets bigger, I'm going to give you more free stuff. You're going to learn more. Your life's going to get better. I'm going to get more of a bigger YouTube channel, which is just going to make me feel a bit happier. happier. And also, when you become really huge and successful, then you'll join my school community down there, where you can learn even more advanced strategies in this to scale to even higher of a level and just become filthy rich. So this is going to be a great mutually beneficial relationship between us, hopefully over the next few months or years. So thanks for watching this video. Make sure to let me know any questions about this in the comment section below, because I do know this video is very long, but it also had to be a bit rushed to kind of get all the information across there in a digestible format. And you can see all the videos on my channel if you want to see every specific stage in more depth in its own standalone video. So I hope this was valuable. Don't forget to subscribe or I'll never make a video like this again. And I hope it's just generally been beneficial to you. And I'll be back with some more source real soon. And also follow me on Instagram, because I'll be posting more strategies and behind the scenes stuff on there, and also like lifestyle and travel stuff. I always post like where I'm going or what I'm doing with my stores on there, so maybe that'll just interest you. If you have any questions, you can message me on there, but to be honest, I reply more on YouTube comments because I get a lot of Instagram DMs and a lot of them are spam and scams. So if you want like a question, it's best to reply on YouTube. But yeah, see you soon.